What's up, non-marsupial four-limbed beings? So last week I posted a video on training for strength versus training for size. And someone posted in the comments below, they said, Christian Thibaudeau just posted a video on the same exact topic. And I was curious, so I went over to his video and I checked it out, and it was actually a premiere, which means that he was actually in the live stream responding to comments. And so, not as like a self-promotion kind of thing, I just said, oh, I just posted a video on the same exact topic. And what he said actually kind of surprised me. He said, please post the link in the live chat and I'll check it out, always willing to learn more. And that kind of blew me away because I see him as someone extremely knowledgeable in the strength training world. When I first started actually lifting 6 years ago, he was one of my primary sources. I would go to T-Nation, the website T-Nation, and I would read everything he had to write. I think I probably read all of his articles. And to me, he is a true guru. He is a true expert. When people say to me, they say like, Geoff, you're an expert on strength training or hypertrophy or fat loss or whatever. No, I'm not, okay? I know a lot about this stuff. I'm very curious about it. I'm very interested in it. But I am not an expert with any of those things. And I don't really give that title very lightly. If I say someone is an expert, they are absolutely an expert. Now, first, let's go into content. Now, I have to give him a 60 out of 60 for content. I didn't even know he had a YouTube channel until someone else posted to it. And was very pleasantly surprised. All of his content is on point, and there is a huge volume of content. He posts very, very regularly. Over the past 2 years, it appears. There are a ton of exercises, a ton of physiological stuff, and I really like how in-depth he goes. A lot of YouTube videos, they're 2, 3, 4 minutes long. They try to play to the algorithm. They try to play to people who have no fucking attention span and just can't even watch more than 2 or 3 minutes at a time. And I like how he doesn't really do this. He goes into depth with a lot of these topics on the physiology of things, on why things work. I mean, his video on training for strength versus size was like 45 minutes. And he has other videos that are an hour or an hour and a half long. And that is the sign that someone is an expert. I was watching him and he just talked for like 45 minutes straight on strength training and the differences between strength and size. And it flowed very well. It clearly wasn't cut like this video is. And if you're a true expert, you can talk about something for hours and hours and hours. You can respond to any question instantly. You already have the answer at your fingertips. And so to me, he is a true expert. He is a true guru. And if you want to know more about fat loss, strength training, training for size, hypertrophy, etc., he is absolutely a great source. One sort of unique thing about his content is neurotyping. So neurotyping is based on neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, GABA, etc., in your brain that in large part affect how you feel and also how you perform. And a lot of programs utterly ignore this. Most coaches have never even heard of these, and yet they can have a pretty significant impact on your performance. And I think a plan that at least in part takes these into account can be more effective. Plus, it's just interesting to know the physiology behind things. Why do you have more drive on some days? Why are you stronger on some days, weaker on others? How does this impact recovery, etc. Furthermore, his content has a lot more nuance than just train harder than last time. Often it actually talks about not necessarily overtraining, but how training too much can over-secrete cortisol, which can lead to worse progress. And this is something very few coaches talk about. Often it's just like, do 3 sets of 10, progressively overload, train harder. Well, as you become more advanced, that doesn't always work. And you're going to need to realize that once you're intermediate and once you're advanced, you have to train a little bit more intelligently than just always training ever harder. Now, in terms of his physique, I think he looks great. Is he natural? Not 100%. He's actually said that he has used various compounds in the past. I don't think his dosages were massive by any means, but he has said that he is not lifetime natural, which, I applaud him for doing. It's very easy, I think, for some people to justify their usage in the past and say, oh yes, I'm natural, but then not really go into what they did before. And it can have an impact, as he said. Once you take steroids, it can increase your myonuclear domain, which means that it is easier to gain and retain future muscle even when you are natural in the future. So, you know, he's not natural, but he looks great. He's very disciplined with his diet and training, clearly. And it's nice to see someone who walks the walk as well as talks the talk. For the category of experience, he is 10 out of 10, absolutely. If you look on T Nation, he has about 600 articles. Fuck you, son. He has about 600 articles there. Some are the tips, which are sort of regurgitated from past articles.
Just the tip.
Just the tips?
But he's very clearly well written. His first article was like 2001. So he's been doing this for a very long time. He's been training other people, very high level athletes, natural and otherwise. And, you know, he definitely has more experience than the vast majority of people in the fitness industry. Now, in terms of marketing, he isn't really too pushy with things. In some of his articles on T Nation, there's a biotest supplement link every other paragraph, which I think is a bit much. You don't really need supplements to grow, and I don't think they help that much. Sure, they can help a little bit. He does go into peri-workout nutrition and having carbs during the workout or before the workout. I think that can help as well, and is very, very underrated. However, I think a little bit too much with the supplement pushing, but it's not too over the top like some people. He also does have some training templates up on his website. They think they're like $70 or $80, which I find to be a little bit expensive just for a non-customized plan. That's about what I charge for a fully customized diet and nutrition plan. So I think that's actually a little bit expensive, but again, free market, you know, he can do whatever he wants. He also has some courses up on the Neurotype system, which can run to $200 or even $300, which I think is a bit much, but I guess if you compare it to a college class, it's probably going to come out a little bit cheaper, and the information is, no doubt, very, very good. Anyway, if you are subbed to me, you will absolutely enjoy his content. It is more in-depth, it is highly informative, and he delivers everything in a very clear and concise manner, unlike me sometimes. He only has like 20 or 30,000 subs, and I think he deserves at least 100 times that. Based on his content, his information, he really does deserve at least a couple million subs. But, you know, that's how the world is. People with good content don't really get put out there, and people with clickbait bullshit tend to succeed. But that's how the world works. All right, that is all for this video. Make sure to like the video. It does help a ton. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and I'll see you in that next video. Peace. Finally, I just want to say thank you all for the support. I know that some of my videos don't really get a lot of reach and they only get a few thousand views per video, and it can be a little bit frustrating sometimes, but I really like making these videos, and this is, you know, stuff that I'm really passionate about, so I'm going to keep making these videos no matter what. So thank you all for the support. I'll see you in the next video.